Hello there, and thank you very much for staying with us. We are glad you're watching WION The World is One. Good evening. My name is Eric Njoka. Let's begin this broadcast with the top headlines at this hour. In yet another stark warning, the World Health Organization says Omicron cases are doubling in 1.5 to 3 days in areas with community transmission. The new variant has been detected in 89 countries so far. EU diplomats warn that nuclear deal talks are rapidly nearing the end of the road after Iran requested for a new pause in dialogue that resumed after a 5-month break. Days after Biden-Putin virtual meeting, White House says that United States is prepared for dialogue with Russia to table its concerns over Moscow's security demands amid the Ukraine crisis. At least 10 people killed and 13 others injured after a powerful gas explosion in a sewage system led to a building collapse in Karachi. A team of experts has been summoned to probe what exactly ignited the gas. In a major relief for Afghan citizens, Taliban authorities set to resume issuing passports in Kabul, opening up a window for thousands to escape the ongoing crisis. At least 33 people killed and over 300,000 people flee their homes as one of the strongest typhoon hits the Philippines. Power and communication lines damaged in several provinces. Indian Meteorological Department issues severe cold wave alert in 5 northern states. Capital city New Delhi records minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius, the lowest this season so far. Over 5.3 million people have died due to the different strains of the coronavirus. More than 27,000 cases of the new Omicron strain have also been recorded in almost 91 countries. But it remains unknown how many Omicron cases have actually led to deaths, with only one confirmed death attributed to the Omicron strain in the UK so far. There is no clarity yet on the fatality rate of the new Omicron variant. So let's begin this bulletin by taking a look at the global COVID surge. The United Kingdom has recorded 93,000 daily cases, setting a record for the 3rd consecutive day in the country. UK has reported nearly 12,000 total Omicron cases. South Africa, where the Omicron variant was first detected, has recorded more than 20,500 new COVID cases. Over 1,000 of them related to the new variant. 35 COVID-related deaths were also reported in South Africa. Denmark has reported nearly 11,000 COVID cases in the last 24 hours. 3 deaths were also reported. More than 9,000 Omicron cases have been reported in the country so far. On to Canada now, where nearly 9,000 COVID cases and 20 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. Omicron case tally in Canada is nearing the 500 mark. We move on to Norway, where around 4,500 new cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. Almost a third of them are said to be Omicron cases. 2 deaths have been reported in the country. Coming back to the United Kingdom, where the Omicron variant is on course to become the most dominant one, cases in Britain are high. It comes at a time when UK is gearing up for the festive season. Here are some numbers to show you this unprecedented surge. Last year, in the week before Christmas, UK was recording an average of nearly 23,000 cases. Well, this year, the 7-day average is almost 63,000, nearly triple the numbers last year. On Friday, the UK set another grim record, reporting over 93,000 new coronavirus cases, a third consecutive record daily tally in the country. In the latest, Wales has announced new COVID restrictions, which come into force just after Christmas. It follows moves in England and Scotland to tackle the Omicron variant. This has left many Britons scrambling to make alternative Christmas plans. They are facing changing government COVID rules and France shutting its border to UK. Until now, the UK government has stopped short of formally limiting socialising. But citizens have been asked to practice caution. For now, booster shots remain the only solution. Britain is pushing for citizens to receive booster shots. Pregnant women have been added to the UK's priority list for a vaccine. Meanwhile, the G7 called Omicron the biggest current threat to global public health. The G7 health ministers earlier held their final meeting hosted by Britain. The focus was on global access to diagnostics, genome sequencing, vaccines and therapeutics in a bid to combat its spread of the Omicron variant. Germany's health minister has warned that the country must brace for a massive fifth wave due to the new Omicron variant. Germany has been battered by a recent rise in COVID cases. Germany has reimposed health restrictions following high case numbers, barring unvaccinated people from restaurants and non-essential commerce. Case numbers have declined slightly, but the spread of the more infectious Omicron variant, first identified in South Africa, threatens to send new infections up again.
Aber trotzdem möchte ich darauf hinweisen, dass es weder epidemiologisch noch gesundheitspolitisch Sinn macht, eine solche Regel jetzt zu kippen, insbesondere in Anbetracht der vor uns stehenden Omikron-Welle. Auch ich gehe von einer massiven fünften Welle aus.
Germany on Friday reported over 50,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. According to the Robert Koch Institute Health Agency, this figure is not going down quickly enough given the pressure already on intensive care units and the arrival of Omicron.
Auf eine Herausforderung einstellen, die wir in dieser Form noch nicht gehabt haben. Da würde auch also ein etwas milderer Verlauf keinen Unterschied machen. Der würde vielleicht die Zahl der Sterbefälle gering halten für 2 oder 3 Wochen, dann aber hätte das Wachstum der Fälle diesen Vorteil schon konsumiert.
Health Minister Karl Lauterbach says Germany has secured approval from the EU to bring forward the delivery of 35 million doses of the Moderna vaccine to boost supplies. The government has also placed an advance order for 80 million doses of Omicron-specific vaccines being developed by Pfizer and BioNTech. The proportion of the population to have already received 2 doses of the vaccine in Germany surpassed 70% this week. In other news at this hour, hundreds of inmates set fire to a Thai prison after 2 days of rioting. The agitated prisoners demanded better medical care due to a coronavirus outbreak. On Friday evening, some 400 inmates in the southern Thai jail set fire to their sleeping quarters. For the last few days, they have been demanding to move those infected with COVID-19 out of the prison. This was the second fire in the last 2 days. Speaking on the matter, the Deputy National Police spokesperson said that no lives were lost in the fire. However, some inmates were wounded. 31 people have been arrested so far over the violence and transferred to high-security prison. Prison authorities have begun inspecting the damage caused by the fire.
เรามีผู้เจรจาอยู่ข้างในนะฮะทั้งผบ.เรือนจำทั้งอดีตผบ.เรือนจำที่นี่ แล้วก็นักจิตวิทยาแล้วก็นายแพทย์สาธารณสุขจังหวัดที่ให้ความรู้ข้อมูลในเรื่องของการติดเชื้อโควิดซึ่งน่าจะมีสาเหตุมาจากการก่อความวุ่นวายครั้งนี้
Almost all prisons in Thailand are overcrowded, and with the virus spreading at a record speed, authorities are scrambling to contain the infection. According to Thailand's Corrections Department, over 87,000 inmates have been infected with COVID-19 until now, and 185 have lost their lives. Meanwhile, Western powers claim that there has been some progress in talks to save the landmark Iran nuclear deal of 2015. However, European diplomats warn that they are also rapidly reaching the end of the road. In a statement, Britain, France and Germany said that there has been some technical progress in the last 24 hours. But it only takes us back nearer to where the talks stood in June. We are rapidly reaching the end of the road for these negotiations. Iran has requested a new pause in the talks in Vienna. This comes as a blow to European mediators. The talks had resumed in November after a 5-month break. This came after the election of a new hardline government in Iran.
We have communicated both through the Europeans and directly to Iran our view on their continued forward progress on the program, our alarm about it. And I'm not going to say more publicly about what those precise messages are because I believe that Iran understands them, but don't want to negotiate in public on them. To your broader question on how's it going, it's not going well in the sense that we do not yet have a pathway back into the JCPOA.
The West is concerned that Iran will soon make enough progress that the 2015 accord would be obsolete. Former U.S. President Donald Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal in 2018. He had also imposed sweeping sanctions, vowing to bring the U.S. adversary to its knees. This included a unilateral ban on Iran's oil sales. President Joe Biden supports a return to the agreement. However, there has been frustration over the pace of efforts. Biden's government has also promised to lift sanctions, but only if Iran complies. On Friday, the International Atomic Energy Agency Director General voiced concerns that a camera memory unit remained missing from the complex.
Today we're launching a major effort to moderate the price of oil in Japan.
In a show of support against China's efforts to isolate Taiwan from the global stage, a group of French lawmakers continued their visit to Taiwan on Friday to boost their ties with the island. French lawmakers arrived in Taiwan for a 5-day visit on Wednesday, following a similar trip led by another group of French parliamentarians in October. Head of France-Taiwan Parliamentary Friendship Group said the French government had been positive about moves to strengthen ties between France and Taiwan.
Voyons bien qu'un certain nombre de pays déploient des programmes d'armement très importants. C'est le cas de la Chine, bien sûr. C'est le cas de la Russie aussi, qui se réarme. C'est le cas des États-Unis d'Amérique, qui réinvestissent dans l'armement également. Et c'est aussi le cas d'un certain nombre de pays européens, dont la France, pour faire face à des nouvelles menaces ou à des risques de déséquilibre. Et donc dans ce cadre-là, nous pensons que évidemment la position de Taïwan est particulière. Elle est particulière parce qu'elle est sous la menace, ce qui est nouveau ou en tout cas ce qui est plus marqué, et que par ailleurs elle se situe dans une zone en effet où il y a un nouvel équilibre de puissance à construire entre les États-Unis d'Amérique et la Chine.
Despite Chinese pressure, which has reduced the number of Taiwan's diplomatic allies to just 14, the autonomous region has been stepping up exchanges with countries that do not officially recognize it as a country, but are against China's growing aggression in the region. China has not ruled out using force to bring Taiwan under its control, despite the island's claim that it is an autonomous region and will defend its freedom from external forces. Taiwan's defense minister has warned that tensions between the island and China were at their highest in decades after a record number of around 150 Chinese warplanes made incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone in October. It is often said that history is written by the victors. But what if technology can be used to actually study the past? An experimental machine learning project hopes to do so. Take a look at this next report.
These robots are just like any other machines. But they could play an important role in modern history. They can repair historical evidence by just scanning the broken fragments of ancient frescoes. The fragments are currently kept in Pompeii. Some of them are rather large and date back to 79 AD, when Mount Vesuvius erupted in Rome and was later destroyed in the Second World War.
We have to deal with very delicate pieces. So we have to be careful when it comes to the robot that will be handling these pieces. And in order to do that, and in order not to break these pieces, we're going to use techniques from soft robotics, which allows us to basically handle and manipulate all the pieces in a very delicate manner.
Sensors on mechanical hands ensure there is no damage. It will use hyperspectral technology to see pieces that are not visible to the naked eye.
Our biggest problem right now is that not all the pieces are in great conservation state. So we have also to take into consideration there could be parts of the drawing that is over the fresco that are not visible easily. So we will use this type of technology to investigate what could have been there before it was erased by the temperature or the rain or other factors that really change the structure of the pieces over time.
The project is funded by the European Union, with various member states collaborating. The robot is expected to be built in 18 months' time. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Lions are listed as endangered species across the world. But South Africa is going against the global trend. The population of the big cat is rising here due to a successful conservation program. Take a look at this next report.
The search for the pride has gone on over many kilometers. Kevin Leo Smith manages these 5,500 hectares of savanna near South Africa's famous Kruger Park. Then his radio crackles. Trackers have spotted the cats feasting on a prey.
Oh, there it is there. Okay. Yeah, it's a zebra carcass. They nearly finished it. Pull it somewhere else. So they pull it like that to try and get to other parts of the carcass.
The mission is to capture and sterilize a lioness.
Yeah, Peter, we've got them. So if you want to start making plans.
Lions are top predators here in Rietsproet. There is little competition and abundant food. They are endangered on the continent, but in South Africa's smaller reserves, lions are multiplying too fast. The management is taking drastic measures to limit their numbers and keep the gene pool healthy.
It's big enough for a home range for a pride of lions like this, which is 6 females that you can see behind me and the 3 males. It's not enough to have a free roaming groups of lions move out and in of the reserve. So we have to therefore manage this population to not end up in what we'd call a prey trap, where there are too many lions and not enough prey species to eat. So
another big risk is inbreeding.
And any time from now forward, they will start coming on heat, and they would end up mating with their own fathers. So that's why we need to prevent that. In the natural circumstances, that wouldn't happen because the males would have been displaced by other males.
A dart gun is loaded with strong sedatives.
Yes, got it.
In a few minutes, the lion drifts off. On the other side of the reserve, the 3 males also sleep. For now, they have little to worry about. Only a few hyena and cheetahs threaten their dominance. But they too will be caught up in the population control scheme. In a few years, young males from a different reserve will replace them. Rootspreet is part of a network of public and private reserves, the Lion Management Forum. They mimic natural processes by controlling reproduction rates and swapping males.
If you think about these 59 populations, they in total have about 700 lions. That is increasing at roughly about 2% a year. If we didn't do the management that we were doing in that place, the population will be increasing at 22% a year. Now that sounds really nice, but the trouble is I don't have lots of space for that in South Africa.
In the operating theater, veterinarians start the procedure. It's a complicated operation. Several hours later, the doctors take out only a part of her reproductive system, not the entire uterus, as was planned.
They had just eaten a zebra, so we did immobilize her, and we did it with she did have a full stomach. And it just made the op a lot more difficult, so we just took the ovaries out, yeah. So it's a very invasive technique, but as soon as you've got 4 fences around a place, you have to manage it.
After the surgery, the lioness is brought to a separate enclosure. She will stay here until her wound has healed. It will be several weeks before she can hunt again. South Africa's 3,500 lions make up 17% of the global population. Interventions like this allow the numbers to grow at least 2% a year, a rate that the land and the ecosystem can carry.
The Yellowstone National Park in the U.S. has turned into a winter wonderland amid heavy snowfall. We leave you with these visuals. Thank you very much for watching this edition of WION World is One, and stay with us.